Chris Kendall and Adrian Pickles here at the Hickenbotham Oval. It is second taking on seventh. Players just slowly moving their position there. Nick Schwarzer starting there at half forward. That's interesting. I would have thought he'd be on the ball, possibly with a tagging job there in the middle, but was just keep a bit of an eye on that. Goulden coming out to a wing, and looks like you can have Marlon Motlop by his side. That's going to be an absolute ripper.
You're looking forward to seeing Marlon strut his stuff.
Yeah, Marlon Motlop, fantastic last season. Picked up 40-odd disposals when these teams last met. But we're ready to start proceedings here in the middle.
You're right, though, Chris. It has been a very slow sort of a start as players drag themselves to their positions.
McDonough going to Joel Cross. That is going to be an absolute perler. Umpire holds the ball aloft. It is James Craig squaring off against Bass. Umpire squaring up for the bounce. That's a good one. Shane Harris will love that one. Tap down there comes from James Craig. McDonough could have been held without it, possibly. Umpire let that one go. Just slipping through fingers there. Coming there is Cameron Craig. Ball just spills out now into the James Craig direction. Matter of fact, there that is player there in Ryswick, and there's going to be a free. So Cross looks to score. That's a terrible kick. His kick's been well cut off in the middle here, and that's going to be by Hender. Gets the handball off. Now it comes out to McDonough. Goes backwards behind there to Clisby. They work it out of the centre square to North Adelaide. Go up towards about 50 metres out from goal. And in front for South, almost able to bring it down there was Fields. In doing so, however, he has gotten straight into the back of his North Adelaide opponent. That's going to be the big fella in Barnes. So he'll be lining up from about 50 metres out on a slight angle, just kicking towards the northern or colonnades end of the ground. So big Alex Barnes averages just over a goal a game. And he'll be lining up to get the first score on the board here for the Roosters. Very slow and deliberate run up. Man on the mark right on the 50. Barnes unloads. Puts it to the hot spot. Fair bit of accuracy in that one, so I reckon. No, just got a fist there. Minor score. That is the first score there for North Adelaide. They are one behind. South Adelaide are yet to score. And as a matter of fact, they've yet to start the time clock here, but it has been going 1.5 minutes. You're with Adrian Pickles.
He's their leading scorer, Barnes. And as we said, North Adelaide are a fast-scoring side. So away they come, South Adelaide, out of wing. Over the head of the North Adelaide player there. The kick was spot on. And they keep working with South Adelaide now. They've worked themselves up to centre wing. Now they look inside their own 50, but caught and dragged down. Fantastic tackle. Holding the ball with the decision. The kick's going to be taken out there by Anderson. He slowly goes forward. In fact, it's Clisby. That kick scrubs towards the half-forward line. Smashed back in towards the 50-metre mark. That one's going to go out of bounds. And North Adelaide lead it by the 1 point.
So about 55 metres out from the North Adelaide goal, just bouncing off Callum Wilkie's hands there. Ball's about to come spinning back into play. Bass opposed to James Craig. Just at the top of the 50, players wrestling for the same square inch of space. James Craig did get the tap down. And it's going to be a free kick, however, to the Panthers. Play being held there was Cross, just in the defensive 50. Cross gets it off by hand now towards Fields. Now, he should be able to work that out, you would think. Further down the lines. That's taken here by Gotch. Centre wing out of side. Gotch got Seckle presenting for him about 15.01 metres away. Takes the mark and moves around. Seckle looks to put it up and towards the Haran direction. Bass there also. Haran couldn't quite keep it in. Boundary throw in. It's just going to be just next to the outhouse. They have finally cottoned onto the time clock issue. It's going to be a free kick to North Adelaide. Last touch out of bounds rule. Still getting used to that one. So North working on the defensive 50. Man to bring it in there will be Wunke. So Wunke, centre wing out of side. Puts it up and towards the Harvey direction. Just been worried out of it slightly. Umpire saw that one, and it's going to be a free kick now to the Roosters. So centre wing out of side. Just waiting to bring it back in board. As a matter of fact, it's Barnes. So Barnes looks to put them up down towards the top of the 50. Ball was punched out of the hands there of Harvey. Good sharking at the bottom of the pack there by Schwarz. He looks to put the Roosters deep in towards attack. Ball just bobbling off hands. Player wrapped up there in the 50 there was Hender. And they'll get a bounce probably about 35 metres out from the North Adelaide goal. They have got one behind the Roosters. South Adelaide yet to score.
Ball up. Comes down. South Adelaide now going to work their way out of defence. Sideways handball. They're going to run away again outside that outer wing. All the play's been out there so far. North Adelaide still leaded by the point. 1-1 contest. One there by North Adelaide. Pushes it wide. Smashes the long ball back inside 50. Barnes there, one-handed mark. Great work. Dragged it in. And he's going to attempt to have his second shot at goal. And this one at a much better angle.
Okay, that's Mitch Harvey there lining up.
It's a long way out there, so I'm more than prepared to take the mistake. Slowly gets back towards, and you're spot on. He's going to be about 30 out, right in front of goal. The fast-starting Roosters would love this one. Trots in, very direct. Umpire doesn't move. Roosters get there first, 1-1. 7, they lead South Adelaide, yet to score.
Yeah, really good work there from Harvey. Just worked his way to the front of the contested situation. That's where he does do a lot of his damage there in the contest. He's averaging 5 marks in his last 4 games, so he's a very important player for them in attack. And good start there for the Roosters. They are 1-1-7. South Adelaide, they've yet to have a meaningful forward 50 entry as yet. Ball back here in the centre. We have gone 5 minutes into this first term. So Bass and James Craig to resume hostilities. I think Schwarz has now gone to McDonough. Crossed over from Richmond, of course. Spent his junior years at the Woodville West Torrens Football Club. Bounce does favour Craig there, if anything. Schwarz, I thought, was possibly being held in the contest. Umpire let that one go. Barnes goes in there and he's wrapped up a tackle. That's Rigby Barnes for South Adelaide. Secondary ball up slightly towards the South Adelaide side of the circle. Tap down. Working on hands and knees there is Schwarz and Newell. They're essentially fighting each other. That's Nick Schwarz. Of course, the brothers squaring off against each other for the first time with Tom in Roosters colours, that is. Rigby Barnes got the tap down. Ball just comes bobbling out of the back. Veide, the 100 gamer. Yeah, that's a very creative sort of disposal. Not entirely sure it was legal. Seckel got the handball towards the feet there of Bass. Next link in the chain is going to be Taylor. Goulden in the centre circle here. Ball just bobbles out here at the back at half-back, and it's taken here by Tahana. Half-back grandstand side. Player moving into position here. Ball just bobbles out in his direction now. That's Wilkie. He's been wrapped up in a tackle. Trying to get it away there was Brown. He was dispossessed. Free kick there. An advantage goes to North Adelaide. It's Amato. Gets it out now towards Harvey, who takes a bounce as he cruises towards the 50. Unloads. Needs the breeze to do a fair bit of work, and he gets that work. 2 goals to Harvey inside the opening 7 minutes. And the Roosters really playing very good football at the moment. They are 2-1-13. South Adelaide still yet to score. Up and about early at the moment, North Adelaide. Adrian Pickles.
Yeah, they certainly exploded off the half-back line. It was a bit scrappy. And then once they spread it wide, they got moving. And Harvey, as you said, he's already kicked the first one, and he followed up his second one. Was a much better goal on the run with a bounce, and he'll enjoy that one. So we're going to get it back to the centre. Ruckman will restart. Pretty even duel so far in the middle of the ground. Bass got his hand on it, the good hit out. But he's not going to get out of the centre. Roosters still working hard. Now they've made an error. They've turned it over. Rigby Barnes gets it inside 50. The one-on-one battle. Picked up, running on the ball, though. Straight into the open goal. Oh, pushed to the back. Umpire's seen it, has he? No. He said play on. The Roosters are going to get out of jail. So they come still inside their own 50. A bouncing ball. Thrown up. Crab's in there. He gets it clear now. Outside the 50 for the Roosters. Member side wing. The chiselling kick over the top. Virgin coming in. Can't take the mark. Umpire's going to call as it's tapped out of bounds. They're going to throw it back in. Well, I'm not sure how they didn't see the push in the back. Everyone else did. But we end up members wing. Ruckman going to set himself again. Craig, Bass gets himself to the front. No hit out made. Or the tackle thrown to the ground. Play on the call. No, he's going to wrap it up. And we'll have another throw up. Throws it up quickly. Third man up, the good hit out was well done by Wilkie. But the ball's going to come back in towards their own side 50 for South Adelaide. Right on the 50-metre arc. Seckel can't get rid of it cleanly, but Barnes is going to smack it inside 50 now. Virgin in the hole. Take an easy chest mark. He's got a player wide in Thring towards a boundary. Decides not to go with him. Chisels one straight down the ground. It's a risky kick and it's not going to come off for him. Picked up now. Umpire's going to call that one as a holding the ball, is it? Yes, it is. And now they're going to come wide and go to the centre wing. One-on-one battle out here. Barnes can't take the mark. South Adelaide now working hard. centre wing. The kick's going to come inside 50. Barnes takes the mark about 60 out, and he'll look for some options.
That's Rigby Barnes for South Adelaide. Looks to put the Panthers into attack. He's looking up there for Hiram. Beautiful pass. Great work in there. Benny Hiram, he'll be lining up from about 20 metres out, but he's on a 70-degree angle, so the mathematical equations are not on his side. Benny Hiram averages just under 6 marks a game this season. He's going to work it around on the left. Needs to bend that one back, needs to bend it back a long way. No, it doesn't come back, but that is the first score there for South Adelaide. They are one behind. North Adelaide are 2-1-13. Just gone inside 10 minutes. It is a 12-point margin there to the Roosters.
So from the restart, spinner, the kick's going to have to be good, and it is. Oh, but a great little spoil has caused that one to go to ground. Working hard here, just outside the 50. Umpire's seen a free for over the top. It's going to go to Rigby Barnes, who's been everywhere early. And now that South are into their groove, heading inside their 50, goal square action, is it? No. Oh, the kick's come off the side of the boot, and it's going to go out in the full. And North Adelaide are going to try again to get out of here. Anderson, this time, up against the point post. Second quarter action. He gets it outside 50. Outer wing. Back of the pack for South Adelaide. Big mark. Now the inboard kick has been chopped off. The Roosters are a chance to get out of jail here. Inside the square. The kick goes wide. Finding Barnes there. Alexander Barnes for North Adelaide, who holds it up. Centre wing. He comes back inboard. He's going to find Spinner, who comes further again to Clisby, who's got loads of room. Now he can work. He goes wider still. He finds Motlop. Puts some tricks on. Gets around one. Now with the right boot. Sticks it inside 50, but the mark's all South Adelaide.
I reckon that's a free there. Play being held.
Something, yeah.
Yep, and so North Adelaide to get the free. I reckon that might be Louis Hender. Just being held there off the contest. So Hender will be lining up from almost directly in front, probably from about 35 metres out. He has gone goalless only once this season. That was back in round 4 against Woodville West Torrens. And you would sense he has a big chance to continue that run. He brings it back there on what breeze there is. That has gone straight through the centre. And North Adelaide open up now to an 18-point lead. They are 3-1-19. South Adelaide are one behind. 12 minutes gone into this first term. And so far it is all the Roosters, Adrian.
Yeah, going to the script, isn't it? We called them fast starters. The stats say they're fast starters, and they're certainly doing that. They're exploding beautifully off half back. And when they get on the move, they're making it count inside 50.
Certainly are. So Haran going into the ruck now to relieve Bass. James Craig, his opposing number opposite the big circle. So back in the centre. Bounce does favour Haran if anything. Tap down, leading in the race for the ball there was Gotch initially, but Richard Newell drops in and fills the hole now for South Adelaide. He's going to put the Panthers into attack. Ball's going to land about 30 metres out from goal. Comes down towards the Rigby Barnes direction, just tries to soccer it through. Handball comes back in board there from Eddie. And it's going to be a pack situation now, probably about 40 metres out now from the South Adelaide goal. Trailing one behind, North Adelaide 3-1-19. 13 minutes gone in this first term. Tap down. Trying to work it through there was Shannon. Also in there was Gotch, secondary ball up. Umpire throwing the ball aloft this time. Tap down, just goes in towards the cross direction. He's been well tackled, but the ball comes out now towards Haran. He has a snap at the goals, goes across the face of goal, out of bounds there on the full.
Umpire's found one in there.
And it is going to be a free. You're right there, Adrian. Ball's going to come back now to North Adelaide. And the player to take it deep in defence there. Probably about 25 metres out from defensive goal is Tom Shaw's.
Schwartz now. He's got players either side of him, both inside 50. Ignores those, goes longer, gets outside. Outer wing. One-on-one battle. Barnes is out there for North Adelaide. But it's going to go out of bounds for a boundary throw in about 70 out from South Adelaide's goal. They currently trail by 18 points. Umpire to throw it in. Barnes to do the ruck work. He's up against her end. Barnes gets his hands on it. And they're a chance now to get away from here. They do, the Roosters. They go back towards their own goal, but at the back of the pack, a 2-on-1 in the South Adelaide mark. taken out there. He gets rid of it quickly. And now they work South Adelaide square. Virgin chasing there. Can't make the tackle. The kick is a good one and it finds Golden. And umpire's pulled back a free kick somewhere in the middle of the ground, has he? He has?
Yep, it's going to be to Joel Cross. He was being held there by Tom Schwartz. So Cross brings it out now towards this grandstand side. The pass was intended there for Matty Rankin. The teammate just trying to let him to come through there was Newell. And in the end, it's going to be a ball up. Rankin not quite able to get clear purchase on it. Harron, tap down. Just slipping through the fingers there of Mackenzie. Haven't called him so far this season, this game. Just working around on the bottom of the pack. Ball up. Centre wing grandstand side. North 3-1-19. South Adelaide 1 behind. 15 minutes gone first term. Amato tries to work his way through. Ball just comes smuggling out there from Little. Next link in the chain there is going to be Newell. His kick was partially smothered. It's going to be a throw in. So centre wing grandstand side still. Plenty of one-on-ones all over the ground at the moment. North Adelaide do have a loose man of defence at the top of the 50. Throw in. Bass. Tap down. Smuggling through there is Little. Puts it up now towards grandstand side halfback. That +1 has proved very effective, and the man taking it there is Spina. Grandstand side halfback. Next link of the chain there is going to be Motlop, and he'll be working now off halfback.
He goes Sidles out of wing, looking for Virgin. He set him a task though. He's in a 2-on-1. Is he going to get there first, or is it going to be the boundary? It's going to be the boundary. Umpire's going to throw it in out there. The kick had to be very good from Motlop to help Virgin out there. It was a 2-on-1 battle. But North Adelaide a chance to restart here. Barnes going to do the work again in the ruck. Up against Bass, is it? No real winner there, but North Adelaide get the win. They're going to come through the centre. The chop-off mark is good inside the square. Almost slips over, which is going to slow them up. He had some runners in the middle that they were an option to use quickly, but now it's gone nice and slow. Comes to Carlotto in the middle of the ground, right in the middle of the ground. He goes long inside 50 for South Adelaide. Oh, pushing the back, almost took the hang. Umpire saw it though. And he's going to pay the free kick. It's going to go to Spinner, who's deep inside his own 50. He goes backwards. So as North Adelaide attempt to get out of here.
Through Sam Wunke. Next link in the chain, there's going to be Thring there on halfback out of side. Gets the underground handball there towards Motlop cruising past. Well, his kick's been well cut off there by Goulden, however. Centre wing out of side. Still North Adelaide by 18 points. Goulden just works around towards the top of the 50. Big fly comes back there from Eddie, just bursting through. Couldn't quite bring it to ground, however. This allows North Adelaide back in towards the contest. Working here off halfback there was playing Cameron Craig. It's all South Adelaide back, however. First link in the chain there is going to be Newell. Gets it off by hand now towards Fields. He looks to spot up a man at the top of the 50 and does. That's Hitchcock. He looks to just poke it into it. That's a terrible kick there. North Adelaide almost able to cut that off. Bit of secondary pressure there from Cross was enough to create the turnover, however. Now North Adelaide just have to try and go back in and arrest the situation they've created. Anderson's kick's been partially smothered. Ball just now smuggles out now towards Rankin at the top of the 50. His kick's been partially smothered. You won't see this 30 seconds of the highlights reel, I wouldn't imagine. Rush through for a minor score there by Thring. That is 2 behind South Adelaide. North Adelaide 3-1-19. We have gone 19 minutes into this first term.
Thring went in short and fast. He found Virgin, but the mark wasn't taken. He went up back to Thring. He's gone back to Spinner. He's back in behind the point post. So that 20 seconds is continuing, Chris.
Certainly is.
His kick's partially smothered. Still inside their own 50, North Adelaide, working hard to get out of here. One-on-one here, Barnes and also Carlotto. Falls to the hands of Armato, who goes around the corner. This one might roll out. Running hard at the ball. It's good work from South Adelaide. The big fella in Crab went sideways, went square, went back to the middle of the ground. It's going to open it right up. The kick to Taylor was good. Now South Adelaide, centre wing, umpire's called play on. He goes in short, centre square here for South Adelaide. The Panthers go inside their own 50. Trying to take another big mark down there, Richard Newell. He's had to go up 3 of them. 2-on-1. Oh, I thought there was a chance that that one was going to be taken. Umpire's going to be pushing it back again. He's certainly not happy with anyone trying to take a big mark in the 50 for the Panthers.
A little bit earlier there by Joel Cross infringing on Tom Schwartz, however.
It is exciting though, Chris.
Certainly is. So Schwartz will take it in the grandstand side back pocket. North 3-1-19, South Adelaide 2 behinds. He tries to work it up in towards the Harvey direction, but it's been punched out of his hands well by Crabb, so a boundary throw in. Probably about 70 metres out there from the Panther goal. North 3-1-19, South 2 behinds. 19 minutes into this first term. Chris Kendall and Adrian Pickles here, Sandford, IGA League round 10 action. Throw in. Bass works his way down to the front. Virgin. Try to get his way through traffic. Goulden. Comes out there towards Little. Now Hayram puts them back in towards the 50, the Panthers. Or just comes out now towards the cross direction. That could have almost been a throw, I would have thought. Now, they were searching down there for Hitchcock. Later, big tackle there on Spina, and it was a high tackle, so Spina gets another free. He's certainly been prolific there with the umpires today, has young Spina. Brings it out now towards this grandstand side. Half backward is taken there by McKenzie. So McKenzie, probably about 60 metres out from his defensive goal. Just waiting for something to open up. He thought about going back in towards the defensive half, but elects to keep it out towards that centre wing grandstand side. Punch comes in. Little and Rankin trying to keep it in, but no real enthusiasm about that. That goes over the boundary line. We are going to have a throw in North 3-1-19. South Adelaide 2 behinds. We have gone 20 minutes into this first term.
North Adelaide can back in their own half. Ever since their fast start, North South really putting on some pressure now. Front of the pack, the ruck work from Craig. Two-handed tap out to his feet, but South the Panthers are going to come out of this. Now the short kick to a one-on-one. Spoor by the Roosters, going to go out of bounds. A spoor coming from Schwartz. And with about 60 metres around from the Panthers goal, the big men are going to do battle again. Players set themselves, lots of room in front of him for the running hit out. Big slap on the punch, but it comes to the Panthers' way. Inside the 50, holding the crowd wanted, not paid. Picked up now the handball outside the 50. Now they're a chance to run out of here. The Roosters, they go short, centre wing, no mark taken. Now working hard there is Schwartz, he dives on it. Umpire's got to say, I'll have it, and we'll ball it up. Right in front of us here, members wing. Roosters lead it by 17. Over the top, umpire said, no, can't do that. He's got to pay the free. Well, not the way I was going with. So it's going to go the Panthers' way. Big Daniel Bass. Goes by hand. He goes inside 50. The mark taken, is it? It is. No, he's called play on the umpire. Players are all around it. Crowd not overly happy with that call. The touch must have been touched in mid-air there. Anyway, we'll carry on. Ball up inside 50. So Roosters still really working hard. Can't get out of their own 50 for a long, long time. Just on the 50-metre arc. Umpire's going to blow the whistle. Another ball up.
So North 3-1-19. South Adelaide are 2 behinds as we go in towards the 22-minute mark of this first term. Ball up at the top of the South Adelaide 50. Tap down there from Bass. Nick Schwartz just tries to work his way through traffic. Gets it off behind there towards Hitchcock. He bends it back. Done not far enough though. Minor score again there for South Adelaide. 3 behinds. North Adelaide are 3-1-19. 16-point margin. 22.5 gone.
In some real pressure footy here. For a long period from the Panthers. But they just can't convert it into a goal. Virgin to himself. Oh, he slipped over right next to the square. The fight's on now. This might be the first one. Umpire said play on again. It's going to be another rush behind. Well, that was one of the more amazing things you'll see. I don't reckon he'll play on again, Virgin. This one might just be the long kick to get it out of there.
Certainly think so. Virgin just looks true, try and spot up the pass, and does get it there from Tom Schwartz just next to the scoreboard. Next link in the chain out there is Cameron Craig at halfback just next to the old outhouse. Well, it's a fairly new outhouse, but fans know what I mean, hopefully. It's a perfectly fine outhouse, I might add, too. Next link in the chain there is going to be Alex Barnes, so he's just a little bit further up the ground. He's still at halfback on towards our outer side. North 3-1-19, South Adelaide 4 behinds. Perfect chest mark taken there by Thring, centre wing outer side. So George Thring just looks to, again, keep it on the outer side of the ground. Harvey goes for the fly, just off his fingers. McKenzie there at the bottom of the pack, and we're going to have a throw-in as it slips out of bounds. So a bit of a scrappy start here from South Adelaide. North Adelaide Playing a pretty good brand of precision football at the moment. Haven't scored since the 12-minute mark though of this first term. Boundary throw-in. Bass and James Craig going at it. Ball slipping through fingers. Nick Schwarz tries to work his way through the Tahana tackle. Ball just smuggles out there. Gotch. Now it's at Goulden, who just works his way cleverly through traffic on that centre wing outer side. Puts it up and towards Eddie. Ball punched out of his hands. Ball needs to set up now. 30 metres out. Does he go for the handball? Does he finish it himself? No, finish it himself, and well done, Brett Eddie. First goal there for the Panthers. A fairly laborious build-up, but they got there in the end. They are 1-4-10. North Adelaide 3-1-19. 9-point margin. 25 minutes gone. That was their most cohesive forward movement there for most of the quarter, Adrian.
Yeah, and it come from the run and gun again from the back line, which is how North Adelaide was scoring. And that seems to be, we said it's going to be the wide open spaces. That seems to be the way it's playing out, that if you can start to run and use that space, then you create more space for your forwards. And of course, the forwards in this sort of game, they've got some skills, and if you let them use them, they can burn you. Eddie gets his first. South Adelaide get their first. And away we go again. Bass wins the hit out. Diving on it first was good play from the Panthers. Umpire's going to let that one go. It's a bit of a scramble, but he's found one. It's going to be a high kick.
Joel Cross to receive the free. So Cross works it out towards the top of the 50. Oh, straight into the chest of Eddie. Despite the efforts here of Anderson, that was always going to be a height mismatch there. Eddie at least 2 inches taller, and he'll be lining up from directly in front of the top of the 50. Doesn't mind playing North Adelaide. Picked up the 2 McGarry Vettel votes in round 2 and 1 in round 12 of 2014. So he'll be lining up from straight in front. And this to get the margin back to 3 points, just at the 26-minute mark here of the first term. Crosses the 50. That is a very good-looking kick. The only movement from umpire is at 2 fingers. 2 to Eddie inside 2 minutes, and the Panthers right back in the contest. They are 2-4-16, North Adelaide 3-1-19, 26 minutes gone. And, yeah, they just exploited the mismatch there with Anderson pretty well there, Pickles.
Yeah, it's another long kick coming into the 50, which is doing the damage. He leads all comers as far as the goal kicking goes this year. Up now to 31. A fair gap between him and the next goal scorer as well, so he's certainly enjoying his start here today.
Doesn't mind kicking a goal as fast, Eddie.
Yes. Craig, this time he gets a hand on it. Goes back to him in the out of the ruck work. Still working right in the centre square here. North Adelaide now through Tom Schwarz. He goes inside 50, bouncing ball. South Adelaide now can't quite pick it up. Take a soap type stuff there, but nowhere in the way. This weather is anywhere bringing that sort of action. Centre wing, South Adelaide going forward now. The kick's a good one, finds her end. Holds him up. Wanted to get going as players are moving forward of inside 50. A few of them are starting to get back now. The Roosters and the Panthers have clogged up that hole inside 50. Eddie sets himself and couldn't quite take the mark. Got high. On this occasion when someone got up there, the umpire didn't pull it up for a free.
Punch there come from McDonough, knocking it out of bounds here for North Adelaide. They're probably about 35 metres out from goal. So deep in attack now, the Panthers. They've done all their attacking this last 7 to 8 minutes. Haran couldn't quite get it, but the siren does sound there for quarter time, and what was quite entertaining first quarter of 2 halves, so to speak. North Adelaide 3 goals, 119. They kicked all of that in the opening 12 minutes, and then from that moment on, South Adelaide were able to nail 2 goals, 3 to add to their 2 goals, 4 for the quarter. They are 2-4-16. The goal kickers there for North Adelaide, 2 to Mitch Harvey, 1 to Lewis Hender, and for South Adelaide, both goals to Brett Eddie in this term. Yeah, as I mentioned there, because certainly a classic quarter of 2 halves.
Obviously things are starting to open up now, so Wednesday. So yeah. Well, we'll have a shitty Wednesday night as a group just to go.
Hostilities there with Daniel Bass. The umpire holds the ball aloft. And to start this second term, tap down there comes from James Craig, straight there to Mackenzie. They should be able to work it out here of the centre now, North Adelaide. Bring it up towards this grandstand side, towards the top of the 50-metre arc. Punch comes in there from Fields. Just working their way through there was Amato. Got a handball of sorts out there. They're calling for a free. Nothing doing. Wilkie was the unlucky recipient because he went straight into a pack situation. Ball up. Just at the top of the 50 grandstand side. So, ball up. James Craig. Tap down. Trying to work his way through there was Newell for South Adelaide. Smuggling handball comes out there from Nick Schwartz. Been partially cut off on there almost by Mackenzie. Just loops the handball out now towards James Craig. Has to go backwards by hand. Now North Adelaide attempting to go back in towards attack. The kick was partially smothered there from Clisby, and Bass is the man who puts him back out towards the centre wing grandstand side. Just seeing the ball happily enough over the boundary line there is Brett Eddy coming a long way up the ground. We're going to have a throw in. Just inside this at first minute. Still, I have started the time clock. Thank you very much for that. Must have been tuning into the stream team last time. We appreciate that. So boundary throw in. Centre wing grandstand side. Bass and James Craig going at it. Both players had a fair bit of each other, so umpire called a draw and let that one go. Gotch trying to trap it. Nick Schwartz goes on hands and knees. Shovels the handball out there towards Little, who was working on the outside. Looks to put it up in towards the attacking zone. Working at the back of the pack there is Bass. Just sockers it along the ground. As a matter of fact, that's Hitchcock. Ball just working in towards attack for South Adelaide, about 20 metres out from goal. But working carefully out there is Wilkie, Wunke, I should say. Spots up a man there at halfback. It's Motlop. Loops the handball over the top there towards Anderson, and they are away centre wing out of side.
Working numerically there. Anderson now, he goes inside 50. Long kick. Two on the one-on-one battles everywhere. The mark taken, it's a good one. The Roosters, who historically are not a good second quarter side, lining up maybe for their the first of the second term. It's going to have to be his best kick there, Chris. I can't quite grab who that is.
Harvey.
So Harvey, from about 60, I reckon. Oh, it's a mongrel, it's a sack. Amato, the van, can't take the mark, and South Adelaide now a chance to run away. The big fella, the big ruckman in Bass gets the kick, the clearing kick. Out to the man he was looking for out, and he found him there, was Brett Eddy. He goes right in the centre of the square, cuts it open. Great, fantastic play. Schwartz goes long. Oh, the kick is beautifully marked on the run, dragged down, gets rid of it. Great stuff. Over now to South Adelaide. The Panthers get their first of the quarter. They're third in total.
Great work there from Richard Newell to receive the handball there from Josh Trembath. And they do hit the front now, South Adelaide. 3-4-22. North Adelaide 3-1-19. Just gone inside this 2.5 minutes into this first term, and that is the first time they have hit the front all day, South Adelaide. So Newell getting the major, and it's game on here. North Adelaide have not scored since the 12-minute mark of the first term. So Panthers back in the centre. Bass and James Craig going at it again. Nick Little barking instructions. Umpire bounces this one. It favours James Craig, if anything. Straight down towards Mackenzie, who gets the clearance now for North Adelaide. Puts it up towards the true centre half forward. Good work in there from Rose. Tries to get the handball away. He's been well wrapped up in a tackle. Little arrives as a support now for South Adelaide. Clisby's the man who wraps him up there at the top of the 50. Ball up.
It's 60 out now. Another ball up. Bass and Craig been at it all day. South Adelaide, the clearing handball picked up though by Anderson. He goes long inside 50. Oh, great mark, back of the pack. Barnes, I don't know that he had first hands on it, but it ended up in his hands. It's taken. Umpire's paid it. And he's now going to line up for the answering goal early in this second term. 4:16 gone. They trail by 3 now. And if he can slot this one, it's exactly what they need. Their strong suit is not the second quarter. North Adelaide through Barnes. Goes deliberate. Umpire goes a little running, but they enjoy it. North Adelaide back in front. It's a shootout, the second quarter action here, Chris.
Certainly is. A goal to each team inside the opening 5 minutes. And the margin now back to 3 points there for North Adelaide. 4-1-25. South Adelaide are 3-4-22. Great work in there from Barnes, just able to wrestle his way towards the front of the pack, takes the mark, and he has been pretty good in attack for them today.
He wasn't convinced that he got his first hand on there, but No one seemed to complain except me.
Exactly. So James Craig and Bass going at it back in the centre here of Hickenbotham Oval. Another perfect bounce there from the umpire. Tap down. McKenzie tried to work his way through. James Craig lends some support. Loops the handball out now towards Clisby, who's centre wing grandstand side. Looks to bring it up towards a longish half forward. Hands there towards Wilkie, who received it there from Amato. Puts it up on the top of the 50. Harvey takes the mark at the top here. Clever work in there from Amato. Just heard the voice there of Wilkie cruising past. And now lining up at the top, here will be Mitch Harvey. Kicked the opening 2 goals for the Roosters. Crossing over from Port in the off-season after being delisted by the Port Power. And this to get the margin out to 9 points. Harvey on the 50. That kick's going and going and going straight. 3 goals now to Mitch Harvey. And that is at North Adelaide's 5th. They are 5-1-31, South Adelaide 3-4-22. That is 3 kicks and 3 goals there for Mitch Harvey. Pretty good conversion rate, you'd say, for any forward there, Pickles.
Yeah, if he keeps going at this rate, it's going to be a big day for him. That was a massive goal. So if you weren't aware that the Mitch Harvey can go long, you are now. The rest of his teammates seem to know. They were nestled in the goal square and heads down. They knew he was going to get the journey. The Panthers also certainly aware now. So that lead just winds a little bit more now. 9 points to the Roosters. Craig gets a hand out, but South Adelaide do the roving. It's Newell. He slaps it on the boot. He goes out half forward flank. Waiting there in front, the Panthers brought down a strong tackle. Umpire says play on. It spills clear now. And they go long way back. That's about a 20-metre handball. It's going to end up in the middle of the ground with Rose. Matthew Rose just holds it up, looking for options. It's gone from half forward down to half back now, by hand just about. He goes by foot now, kicks it back to centre half forward where it came from, and there's Panthers everywhere. Oh, the handball wasn't taken cleanly, over the head, and away they go. Well, brought down the tackle, could be in the back, or holding the ball, or play on. Play on's the call. Now he's going to say, I'll have a ball up. And the umpire is going to throw that up around about 65, 70 out.
Ball up. James Craig and Bass going at it. Cruising past there was Cross. Just brushes them aside. He's tackled there on the top of the 50. Gee, I thought that was almost holding the ball. Umpires let that one go. North Adelaide now just working out of the back half. They've brought it straight back from whence it came, however. Now it's with Fields in the centre of Hickenbotham Oval. He just looks to put a spearing pass in towards the 50. It's towards the feet there of Eddie. Sets it up there for Rigby Barnes. He snaps. He goes. Great work in there from Barnes. Sharking the pack there well as it fell off Eddie's hands. That is 4-4-28 now, South Adelaide. North Adelaide 5-1-31. 3-point margin. Just gone inside 8.5 minutes here of this second term. And Rigby Barnes just been so important this season for them, Adrian.
Yeah, he was really good early in that first quarter as well. Didn't see much of it in the second half of the second quarter, but he was electric early. And that's the sort of skills that he's going to bring to this game, and certainly that forward line for the Panthers. Ball hits the deck there, and look out for him to do some damage. It's a fantastic goal. Centre square action again. North Adelaide, the lead by 3. Hit out this time by Bass. Goes backwards. Umpire's seen one. It's going to be holding on, I think the free is. And it's going to go to Cross. No, he's going to bring it back.
It was actually to Newell. He was trying to handball it after Cross and let them be fooled by it, but Newell will be the man to take the free and 25, Adrian.
He does, and he goes sideways, out centre wing.
Got to kick it over the man on the mark.
Tyson Brown. They're going to make this as hard as they can for me to get this this call flowing. Every time I call it, they'll call it back for something new. So this time it's going to be Newell over the mark and not going to give it to anyone. He's going to look like he's going to bang it long to me, and he does. Just thumps one long on the long lead. It's a 2-on-1. Anderson leads in it now. He gets pushed to the back over the boundary. Umpire says it was touched. We'll throw it back in inside the Panthers, the Roosters 50.
Panthers 50.
Panthers 50, sorry. They lead it by 3.
Boundary throw in. About 45 metres out from the South Adelaide goal kiosk side of the ground. James Craig. Tap down. Straight towards Barnes. He's wrapped up in a tackle. Tyson Brown skirting the pack. Ball up. Rigby Barnes so good on the defensive side of things. Averaged 5 tackles in his opening 7 games. Didn't register 1 last week. Shannon, speaking of players who register tackles, he was spun around on a tackle a couple of times, and I reckon that was holding the ball. No, umpire just let that one go. He tried to dodge 2, 3, but got the benefit of the doubt. Right on the top of the 50 here for South. Third man up there was Newell. Ball just now at the bottom of the pack. Trying to work his way through there is Wilkie, and we're going to have a ball up again. Still at the top of the South Adelaide 50. They are 4-4-28, North Adelaide 5-1-31. 10.5 gone second term. Chris Kendall and Adrian Pickles bringing all the sand for round 10 IGA League action here from Hickenbotham Oval. Thring. Wrapped up in a tackle. Gotch dispossesses him. Gets it off now towards Sekaloo. Puts it up towards the top of the 50. Ball just punched out there of Eddie's hands. Clever work in there in the defensive half now from Clisby. He received the handball there from Onekey. Brings it out now towards the outer side of the ground where it's now taken by Anderson. Anderson just looks to punt it in towards the top of the North Adelaide 50. He was infringed late in the contest. It's going to be a free kick down the ground. It's going to be now towards Harvey. He loops the handball over there, searching for Alex Barnes, who shows a clean pair of heels. Shoots from 40, unloads, minor score. Wasted opportunity there for the Roosters. 5-2-32, South Adelaide 4-4-28. 4-point margin, 11.5 gone. Now, it's going to be a free kick. They're going to bring this one back. So it's going to be a free there for high there on Barnes. I must admit, I thought in the contest there, Pickles, that he was taken high and the umpire did call play on. But now he's rethought it, and Barnes will be lining up now from probably about 40 metres out straight in front. He's kicked the 1 goal already today. So 3-point margin currently to the Roosters. 11.5, nearly 12 minutes gone here in this second term. Very deliberate action here from Barnes. Crosses the 50. Will ultimately kick from 40. Distance won't be a trouble. Accuracy is, however. So it was pretty much deja vu all over again. He missed the first one, missed the second one. 5-2-32, South Adelaide 4-4-28. 12 minutes gone. You are with Adrian Pickles.
South of the restart. Pretty crowded backline for them, though. It's a good long thumping kick. There's plenty of numbers out here. Barnes for North Adelaide in the middle of the pack. Got hands on it, couldn't take the mark. Now Rigby Barnes in there. He gets pushed out of that pack. And now they come away. It's going to end up there with the Centurion. Jake Veide, one-handed. Rankin couldn't take the mark. Was taken, though, by Corey Grove from North Adelaide. Centre wing. He goes back towards the 50. Back of the pack. Moving forward there was Tahana. It ends up forward. One-handed mark attempt. Couldn't quite grab it. Good push and shove there. One-on-one battle. The handball comes out. Wants to go around the corner. He finds this man in there, which is Armado, but chopping it off though is Little from South Adelaide. He gets brought to ground in the tackle. Umpire says, hold the ball. He's going to take the kick. There's a bit in this. Bit of push and shove.
Great tackle from Lewis Hender there, Pickles.
Louis Hender, the former Bay. They're right in line with him here though, so Chris will be able to see if this was going to go through. He is about 25 out. He's on about a 60 degree angle, so he's going to line up Stevie J style. Takes a couple of steps, bends it round the corner, hits the stick, thumps it into the stick. That's shaking like it might come down. The crowd here in the grandstand love it. South Adelaide 4-4-28. Still trail North Adelaide 5-2-33.
So 5-point margin now to North Adelaide. Tom Fields the man to bring it back in, and there's plenty of advice from the umpires from the crowd in front of us. That had to be a perfect pass here to Kate Lotto on was. 40 metres out from the defensive goal. Grandstand side. Kate Lotto just looks to work it away from the danger zone. See, great work in there from Hayron, just drifting through. Took it in front of Alex Barnes. So Hayron indicating he's going to go long. Got players moving out there in the space. Couldn't quite work through his Kate Lotto, but great work there from Cross, who read it perfectly off the back. Loops the handball over the top there towards Eddie. He cruises in and punishes the Roosters. 3 goals now for Brett Eddie, and South Adelaide have hit the front once again. 5-4-34, North Adelaide 5-3-33. It's the narrowest of margins. 14.5 minutes gone into this second term, and great work in there from Joel Cross. Could have gone himself there, Adrian, but let it to do the unselfish thing, handballed it off to Eddie.
With that whole transition all the way through from the back of the ground, all the way through, up through the centre wing, the mark and the give, and the beautiful finish was just a wonderful goal. Really big crowd lifter, team lifter. As you say, very tight game here. Just the 1 point in it. South lead. The big men do battle again. It's Barnes in there this time. North Adelaide trying to get the clearance. They do by hand. It goes to Motlop, who stops, props, goes in short. Man on the lead can't take the mark. Falls in the hands of Anderson. He goes back to Motlop. About 60 out. Under the wing. Has had one bounce. Goes in short now. Right centre square, sorry, goal square action. Oh, the tackle was fantastic. The ball hit the ground during the kicking motion, which is normally about to do enough. But even if you lay on it, the umpire will say hold the ball, which he did. South Adelaide finally get that free kick in in their own 50, which this crowd in front of us here have been screaming for. The restart, right next to the goal, the point post. The clearing kick out towards 60. Whole heap of Roosters out there. They go by hand backwards. Backwards again, Virgin. Oh, shrugs one tackle, got one around the neck. And away they go now, South Adelaide through Cross.
Across the next link in the chain is going to be Nick Schwarz in all sorts of space. Centre wing and aside. Takes a bounce. Takes two. Can take three. Can he take four? He looks to put it in towards Eddie. He takes the mark, wheels around and kicks goal number 4. Oh, that was way too easy there. Nick Schwarz in all sorts of space. And he has 4 in the opening half. And they've got it to a game-high margin now for South Adelaide of 6-4-40. North Adelaide at 5-3-33. We have gone 16.5 into this second term. You spotted something there off the play there, Adrian.
You said all sorts of space, and that is because his opponent had absolutely stopped to turn around and walk the other way. He's coming off. I just can't pick up who that is, if you might be able to help us out there on that one, Chris. He was done like a dinner.
It looks to be Joe Anderson to me.
Couldn't move.
And he is moving very slowly. It is indeed Anderson. He's coming slow to the bench. Not really showing any visible signs of an injury.
I mean, it stopped and just decided to walk off. And he certainly looked like he's for a certain reason, but we'll find that out later on at some stage, I'm sure. The restart again after the goal. The clearing kick inside South Adelaide's 50. Running, gunning, off the ground. Oh, this could be 2 in a second. It's not. It's going to dribble through for a point. The play was fast, and Gordon couldn't quite convert. It was a tough give. Coming out of the pack, North Adelaide now. From their restart, Thring, centre wing, chopped off. He stops. He's got one further down the ground. That's Ryswick. He can't take the mark. And now South Adelaide will try to restart and get going. They do through Brown. Tyson Brown it is. Centre of the ground, back to Tyson Brown. He goes wider still. And a long lead, it's good, comes inside, cuts it off. The handball outside does the job from 55. It's going, it's a long kick. Oh, an umpire said it's just missed. Couldn't tell from here. But they are starting to pack it on and starting to run hard. And this is the quarter, as I said, is going to be the trouble one. If North Adelaide can hold on and be around the mark, they might be in it. If South Adelaide get a motor on and get going, it could be trouble.
Cameron Hitchcock, the man scoring the behind there. Thring looks to bring it in from defence. Spots up the man out there in McKenzie. Deep in defence here for North Adelaide. He's just waiting for something to present. He gets a short lead from Amato. He's going to go longer than that, however. Keeps it on that centre wing outer side. Oh, sets it up perfectly there for Barnes, but Bass just dropped in and spoilt the party. Got the handball in. Coughed it straight up here, North Adelaide. Yep. Comes out now from Tom Schwarz, who received it there from Motlop. They've coughed it straight back up again, straight towards Daniel Bass. So again, 30 seconds of football, each obligingly giving it back and forth to each other. Straight towards the feet there of Matty Rankin. Has to try and work his way around the issue there of Clisby. Matty Rankin, he looks like he stepped out of bounds. So it's going to be a free kick, in fact, there to North Adelaide. A bit of high contact there on Amato. Members in front of us disputing it from 150 metres away without binoculars. That's curious. Brings it in board now, it's taken there by McKenzie. So McKenzie, centre wing, outer side. He goes back in towards the defensive half, where it's now taken there by player in Sam Wunke. Still deep in defence here, North Adelaide. Clisby just looks to bring it in board. He's got a long lead up the ground there from Mitch Harvey. Ball just punched out of his hands. Great tackle in there from South Adelaide. Not rewarded. Play on. Little Looks to bring it back in towards the attacking zone, but it's all North Adelaide back here. Strong mark taken back in defence there, again by Callum Wilkie. He looks to square it up on towards the other half-back flank, where it's now taken by Schwarz. That's Tom Schwarz for North Adelaide. Looks to bring it in board. Tahana, 1-2. There's a free or a mark, take your pick. Umpire's leaning towards the ladder, so...
Danger was lurking there, Chris.
It was. Tahana takes it at half-back out of side. Barnes just dancing around the mark. That's Rigby Barnes. So deep in defence here for North Adelaide, Tahana. Keeping it again on that centre wing out of side. Oh, it slips straight towards Motlop's fingers. He just wheels around. Looks to bring a dinky little pass in towards Virgin. Gets the handball back in towards Motlop, who is cruising past. Puts it up again. This is set up perfectly there for Harvey. No, couldn't quite bring it to ground. Trying to work his way through there is Fields. Got a handball of sorts away. They're deep in defence now. It's with Carlotto now for South Adelaide. He's trying to spot up the man on there on the outer side and does. It's Daniel Bass at half-back for South Adelaide.
The long and the short of it, Virgin on the mark. Bass, about 60 out. He goes in short. He finds one. And he's got to square it up. South Adelaide to Little now. Still inside their back half. The long squaring kick is good to Carlotto. He's got a runner. Gives it to him. But he instantly goes by foot out to centre wing. Wheels around. Long way Veide, the Centurion. He goes to about half forward. The mark taken and picked off by Spiner. He goes sideways, inside the square though. Mark taken by McKenzie. And he goes sideways again. Motlop out there, leading in the race, and that is Virgin. If he can pick it up and go, he might be in business, but he's not. He's slid the ground. South Adelaide player came across him, all over his back. Umpire said take the kick. And he's going to take that kick in the middle of the ground. We've got 21 minutes in this second quarter action. North Adelaide now building something inside the square still. They go inside 50. Harvey couldn't take the mark. The umpire this time has said the same in his back. He's going to blow it up. Play on. You want to be careful there, Louis Hender. He might have run over the mark. South Adelaide goes sideways to clear it. The kick is good. Created space. They've got another one down the wing. If they use him, they're off and running.
And they are. It's Hitchcock who received it from Rankin. Next link in the chain now is going to be Seckle. Centre wing out of side. South Adelaide by 9 points. Looks to just chip a little 9-9 over the top there towards Brad Crabb. Goodness me, he's drifted a long way down the ground. Gets it off by hand now towards Hitchcock, who has a shot from 40 metres out in the pocket. Plenty of numbers here now with North Adelaide. That's great work in there from Wilkie, just trying to read it off the pack. Matter of fact, that's Tahana, gets it off by hand. Now it comes out now towards Cameron Craig. Punched out of his hands there by Nick Schwarz. Good tackle in there by Tom Schwarz. Oh, you got a bit of brotherly love there at the top of the 50. Schwarz brothers in a little pack situation. Ball up. Probably revives memories of when they were 12 years old and fighting for the same bump bed, I'd imagine. 45 metres out from the South Adelaide goal. Ball up. James Craig. Tap down. Kenzie wrapped up in a tackle. Ball up. So 45 metres out now from the South Adelaide goal. 6-6-42 the Panthers. North Adelaide 5-3-33. 23 minutes gone in towards this second term. Tap down, James Craig. Daniel Bass just tries to barge and bullock his way through. Ball just comes spilling out. McKenzie lays a solid tackle there on his South Adelaide opponent. Is that going to be holding the ball? Yes, it is. Good work in there from the former Melbourne midfielder there against Rigby Barnes. So McKenzie, about 25 metres out from his defensive goal. Got a man calling towards the side, and that's Wunke. So Wunke still deep in defence here for the Roosters. Puts a long pass up here towards McDonough. We haven't called him too many times today. Centre wing, grandstand side. McDonough. He's got Ryswick calling for it here at the back of the pack, and he sees that and honours it. He's opposed there towards Fields. Works his way to the front almost. Couldn't quite get it. Good punch in there from Fields. Just trying to work his way through. There was across. He was wrapped up in a tackle. Matter of fact, that was Kay Lotto. It's going to come back. He's going to have to come back into the tackler. And it's going to be Hender. So playing a long way up the ground. Centre wing, grandstand side. His team trailing now by 9 points. Puts it up now towards the goal square. Ball is set up at the back here for Harvey. 1-2. Couldn't quite take it. Panthers got the hand in there through Kay Lotto. Ball's there in the defensive goal square. Now comes out now towards Veide, centre wing, grandstand side. Next link in the chain is going to be Brown. He's searching for him. Couldn't quite isolate him. Working in the back of the pack here is Thring. Tried to get his way around the Tyson Brown issue. Couldn't. Great tackle. And Brown will take the free kick. Centre wing, grandstand side. It is South 6-6-42. North 5-3-33. 25 minutes gone. You're with Adrian Pickles.
So Brown looks for options. Just thumps one down the line to the big men. Back in the pack, it's all North Adelaide though. They go sideways. They're going to find in the middle of the ground. It's got to be Spooner. He's almost that true centre-half back. Waits for his runner to come. Gets him. He goes long and wide. One-on-one contest out there on the wing. And he's found that North Adelaide play there. He goes forward to Motlop. He keeps his feet. One gone down. Can't pick it up cleanly. Now he does. Now it's a 2-on-1. Hamble goes backwards, round the corner, back inside 50. But it's all South Adelaide. Take the mark easily back there. Is Cross. And he clears the danger. Ball stays in. Sock it off the ground. They stay centre wing out there for South Adelaide and moving forward. But once again it's chopped off by the Roosters. And they're going to try to build something from this back line. The short kick is good. Fans its target.
Roswick.
And Ryswick's going to go inside 50. He's not. It's been chopped off. Long stretch. And it worked. Now they come now away. It's Golden. He goes long, almost getting to the 50. Ball's on the run. It bounces inside 50 now. Leading in that race is Hender. Umpire's seen something. He's going to go back to Rigby Barnes. But if that ball is set up, I thought Eddie was off and away. I think I might have called him Hender. So Barnes now. Always damaging. Always creates something. He goes a long way straight for Eddie. For the long lead. Couldn't take the mark though. Roosters back there in numbers, diving on the ball. And they might be able to get out of jail. The pickup is clean. The ball's wrapped up. It's going to go out of bounds. About 15 away from the South Adelaide point post. Second quarter action. Sandford. 26 minutes gone. Chris Kendall's your caller.
Ball up. Just trying to work it through now. Mackenzie Shark in the pack as the siren sounds for half-time here. Sandford round 10 IGA League action here at the Hickenbotham Oval, and it is South Adelaide leading at half-time by 9 points. They are 6-6-42. North Adelaide are 5-3-33. Goal kickers there for South Adelaide. Braheny has 4. Singles there to Rigby Barnes and Newell. And for North Adelaide, it is 3 to Harvey and Singles. Throws the ball off the start. Third quarter action here at the Hickenbotham Oval. There's the Panthers by 9 points. Umpire indicating he's going to bounce. That's another lovely one. It favoured James Craig, if anything. He did get the tap down, but Nick Schwarz arrives there for the Panthers. Goes backwards defensively by hand there towards Newell. They work it off half-back there through Taylor. He's looking out there for Matt Rose in space on the centre wing outer side, just paddling it in front of himself under pressure from Motlop. Gets a foot in. Just puts it further down the lines here, but it's cut off here by Spina here for North Adelaide. He goes inboard by Hammer. It comes down towards Motlop, working off half-back, outer side. Got plenty of players moving in space out there. The first of those is Ryswick. Loops it over the top there by hand now towards Shannon. Shannon puts the Roosters in towards attack. He was looking down there for Barnes. He was worried out of it there, slightly Alex Barnes. Working in the back of the contest here is Crabb. He's happy enough to see it over the boundary line. They're calling for deliberate, but no umpire would call that as deliberate, I wouldn't think. Deeper in attack for North Adelaide. 6-6-42. The Panthers, North 5-3-33, just inside a minute here of the third term at Hickenbotham Oval. Boundary throw in. James Craig, he's not going for it this time. He's letting Alex Barnes go as the right knockout against Bass. Tap down. Wrapped up on the tackle there is Shannon by little. Ball up. It's probably about 25 metres out now from the North Adelaide goal. Bass worked his way towards front position. Nick Schwarz tried to work his way through, dispossessed. Going on, hands and knees there was a Marta. He's been wrapped up in a tackle. Shannon in there also. We're going to have another ball up. So not exactly the most entertaining opening minute here of this third term. Tap down, Alex Barnes. Going on hands and knees there is Cross. In there also is Mackenzie. Couldn't quite get the disposal away. Cross just sees it out for another ball up. We've had 4 ball ups in this opening minute. Tap down. Trying to work through there was Tom Schwarz. He's wrapped up in a tackle. Another ball up. I feel like I'm stuck on a loop. If you've just joined us, folks, no, there's nothing wrong with your internet connection. The NBN hasn't crashed. Bass. Tap down. Leading in the race for the ball there is Little. Trying to come back inboard there was Tom Schwarz. He's wrapped up in a tackle there. Going to have a ball up and a throw in, as a matter of fact. Well, if nothing else, the man in green are getting plenty of action. Boundary throw in. Just waiting for it to come spinning back into play. Alex Barnes and Bass. Former gets the tap down. Straight in towards the Joel Cross direction. He's wrapped up in a tackle there by Ryswick. Another ball up's ensuing. Well, this is really entertaining football. It truly is. This is wonderful stuff. Joel Cross has had 11 of the possible 12 McGarry medal votes in the last 4 times these teams have met. Third man up there was Nick Schwartz, who's searching down there for Matt Rose. It's going to be seen on the boundary line there by Ryswick after the most entertaining 2.5 minutes I've ever seen in my life. It's going to be a throw-in. Adrian Pickles, can you please break this deadlock for the sanity of everyone on the ground?
I'll do my best. We need the third man up on the big spoil. Umpire throws it back in. Barnes has got a battle in the ruck. Falls in his lap. Handball over the top now. Inside the 50 still. Now they get the clearing kick, the Panthers. Still inside the square, the centre square that is. A long clearing handball back. They work backwards to go forwards. Over the top they've got lots of players running. One wide player is Schwartz. In fact, it's Clisby. He goes long. Mark not taken inside 50. They're right out the boundary line there. Fighting hard. 3, 4, 5 players in there. It's going to wrap up. I can see what's going to happen here. Chris, we're going to have another ball up. Must be the order of the day for the third quarter. Is ball ups. It's flicked out the back. Now a chance. Shot on goal. No, it's got to land in front of about 25 out. Mark taken, they're running away.
That was by Carlotto. As the errant pass there was from James Craig. And Haran takes it centre wing out of side. Brings it inboard now where it's taken here by Hitchcock. Hitchcock spots a man further up the line there in Goulden. Centre wing out of side. No change to that. Half-time score 6-6-42 South Adelaide Goulden. North 5-3-33 Goulden shows a clean pair of heels. He was searching down there for Eddie, who has to try and work his way around the situation there posed by Cameron Craig. We're going to have a throw in. Probably about 60 metres out from the South Adelaide goal. As we have gone 4 minutes into this third term, Sandful IGA League round 10 action. Chris Kendall and Adrian Pickle is bringing all the action. Throw in. James Craig, posed to Bass. Former gets the tap down. Tahana tries to work his way through. Also Mackenzie. Ball just comes spilling out now towards Little. 55 metres out. Looks to put a pass in towards the top of the 50. Strong mark by Trembath. Gee, that was really good work in there from Little. Just showed calmness. Just looked to pot it in towards the hot spot. And Trembath takes it. And he's going to get the benefit of 25. He was dealt with heavily after disposal. So it would have been a moderately difficult shot now. You would not think he would miss this now, Josh Trembath. Kicked 2 goals, 1 from 5 disposals last week. He's operating at about the same rare share today. 15 metres out, dead in front. He made the goal umpire work, but he has slotted it through. 7-6 at 48, North Adelaide at 5-3, 33, 15-point margin, 5 minutes gone. Great work in there from Little Pickles.
Yeah, it took a while to get going, and the ball was wrapped up down the long end of the ground as far as we're concerned for a long time with ball ups inside 50. When it finally cleared, South run, they got away. It still wasn't beautifully free-flowing.
Nope.
But once the kick inside 50 was made, Mark taken the goal. South Adelaide get the first goal in the third quarter. As you said, they lead by 15. 5 minutes gone.
South Adelaide, by the way.
5 minutes gone. Third quarter action on the Sandfield live feed. North Adelaide get the centre clearance. Goes inside 50. Leading in the race out there is Scott, Taylor Scott that is. His kick is going to dribble out of play. And umpire's going to throw that one back in. Craig is going to battle Bass. They're about 60 out from the North Adelaide goal. Cameron Craig probably got a hand on it, but only as far as the North Adelaide player who threw it out rugby style, but it worked. South Adelaide, the Panthers, the big long clearing kick, coming towards their own goal, punched out of bounds. They're about 70 out from their goal now. And all this play working on the outer wing. In the third quarter, it hasn't been the most entertaining of third quarters, Chris. I'll get you to see if you can get yourself another goal.
Bass and James Craig going at it. Little in there, just tries to scoop it off the turf. Working cleverly underneath there is Tom Shaw's, however. He tried to smuggle it out towards the Thring direction. Rigby Barnes just tries to work his way around, just hacks it out of the danger zone, puts it up there towards the top of the 50. Ball just comes off Eddie's hands. Working there is Newell. Now it comes off towards Hitchcock. 40 out and slams it home. Oh, Cameron Hitchcock, he has been so dangerous this year since returning to Sandford football, and then opens out to a game-high 21-point margin. 8-6-54, North Adelaide 5-3-33, 7.5 gone in that third term. Great work in there from Cam Hitchcock, but also clever work from Newell there. Adrian?
Yeah, it was. A couple of really quick gives, a couple of good little gives. They are the third quarter specialists, and it started exactly like we thought. So they've got the first two on the board. It's out to a 21-point margin all of a sudden. So I don't know what's in the water there in the change rooms at half time, but whatever it is, it works. And it seems to work pretty often.
We both come from down south, so it must be in our water too. We'll have to remember this next time half time.
Right. I'm drinking at the wrong pub. But from the bounce down, both players wrapped up. We're going to have a secondary bounce or throw up, I reckon it'll be. Last man off the ground. Struggles to get up. It's Seckle. He holds his head. He's not that great. Keep your eye on him there. I reckon he's in real trouble, actually, Chris. He's a bit dazed. But play goes on around him. No clean possession one there. Now, finally, Virgin tries to smack one out there. It doesn't quite work. Dribbling play. All this happening inside the centre square. Another tackle. Handball now, South Adelaide going forwards. Umpire's blown it up. He's going to call that.
They're actually stopping play. Seckle is in real trouble. You picked it well there, Adrian. He actually tried to run for it, and he's just fallen straight down. He's got a concussion, I reckon, there. So they're actually stopping play to allow him to get off the ground. Look, he tried a couple of times to get to his feet. Seckle's got a head like a cat's head, quite frankly. And if he gets up and he's struggling, you know he's had a big one.
And he's just pushed off the runners there, or the doctors, to say, I'll get off myself. So you're right. He refuses to be injured. But to the umpire's credit, they've pulled play up because that's dangerous. So Seckle's off the ground now in the safe hands of the doctors. Play goes on. About 60 out from goal for South Adelaide. In the hands of Golden. He goes by foot. Oh, the pass is fantastic. It was a bullet. Absolute bullet. Mark's been taken. About 25 out by Trembath. He's on a real tight angle. They've already got 2 with inside 9 minutes. This could make it 3. He's going to go with the stock standard drop punt by the looks of it. We've seen through 2 or 3 attempted from here, all with the check side. Not from Trembath though. Trembath, about 25 out, looks deliberate. Oh, I reckon he's kicked it. Angle was tight, but he's got it home. They go again. He's got his second. South Adelaide get through the first 3 of the quarter, and they have started like a house on fire.
Certainly are. Great work in there from Nick Little. He won the first ball at the stoppage, went back for the receive, and landed it straight onto the chest of Josh Trembath. Crossed over from Glenelg in the off-season. And he's now kicked 4 goals in 1.5 games in South Adelaide colours.
To steal a term from the baseball clubs, that was a frozen rope, that pass.
Indeed, I like that. Back in the centre, game high 27-point margin. South Adelaide starting to put the foot on the accelerator. What do North Adelaide respond with? Tap down there comes from Cross, straight from Bass. Tahana just slipped through his fans. Presented it now towards Bass. Puts it up towards the top of the 50. Great work running backwards of the flight of the ball there. Was the big fella in one key. Just showing the ball to the crowd, indicating that he's just going to hold play up slightly. Goes backwards now towards Spina. In the defensive goal square just about. He can go sideways again back to one key. Might almost be his best option. No, he's indicating he's going to keep it away on the outer side of the ground. Puts it up now towards the old outhouse. Ball just slips over hands. Veide trying to keep it in. James Craig, slightly clumsy tackle, but it was just inside the realms of legalities of the umpire throw in. So about 75 metres out now from the South Adelaide goal. 9-6-60 North Adelaide stuck on that half-time score of 5-3-33, which incidentally they've been there since the 13-minute mark of the second term. Seeing over the boundary line there again is Veide, going to have a throw-in. Well, how do North Adelaide respond? This is the real test for them. They've actually won 7 of their last 12 quarters leading into this match, but they've only won the 1 match. They get it in fits and starts, though, the Roosters. Tap down there from James Craig. Trying to work his way through there is Ruby Barnes. Well tackled there by Nick Schwarz. Ball just smuggles that now towards Cross. He's starting to work his way into the contest. Spots up Rankin at the top of the 50. Takes the mark. Twists. Turns. Pirouettes. Brings it back inboard to Cross. 45 metres out. Unloads and slams it into the behind post. That's going to be out of bounds on the full. The man to bring it in there will be George Thring at the 12-minute mark of the third term.
George Thring, of course, playing without his brother. who's done a hamstring, and he's off. He's been out of the side for a couple of weeks now. But Thring goes out of wing towards that outhouse. It's getting some action today. South Adelaide, though, with the clearance. Oh, the handball is good. The kick inside 50, right in front of the goal square. The spoil came from Grove. Didn't get very far because the ball's still there. In mid-air is Haran. He couldn't kick it through. It's a reasonable attempt. Would have been goal of the year if he got a hold of it. But of course he didn't. The umpire is going to ball it up. It's right in front of the South Adelaide goal, about 10 metres away from their goal square. Umpire throws it up. Bass come over the top. The handball through. Quick hands from North Adelaide. They're going to try to run it out of here. Virgin now. Swings onto his left. Goes long. Centre wing. Hender leads in the race. Now Clisby pats it towards himself. It's going to go out of bounds. We've gone 13 minutes in this third quarter. South Adelaide going strong. They currently lead it by 27 points. They've kicked 3 quick ones in this third quarter. Umpire throws it in. Bass. This time Barnes against him. Barnes just got a paw on it. Mackenzie's run out of bounds in attempting to clear it. We'll have another boundary throw in. Barnes and also Heron doing the ruck work now. Heron gets to the back, palms it down in front of him. Up for a second time is Barnes. He gives it to Clisby. He's wrapped up in a tackle straight away. Umpire comes charging in, says I'll have that one. And as we've happened a couple of times today, we have repetitive ball-ups. Barnes slaps it. Only though as far as Rigby Barnes for South Adelaide. He goes to Haran. He goes sidearms with a monster handball, but it works. Oh, picked up by beautifully was
Hender.
Thank you, Chris. Who goes by foot. He goes towards his own goal. Ball, Cameron Craig taking a double grabber mark. Why is he playing on? Not sure. Must have been a touch ball. It is. Now they still go. Still working hard. Twisting out of the pack is good work from Schwartz. He goes long and wide. Man inside 50. Takes the mark under pressure. And North Adelaide a chance to get the answering goal. He's been thumped too in that marking contest, and he's not getting up.
That was Ryswick who received it from Virgin.
And he slowly dragged himself to his feet, but I don't know that he's in that great a condition. Chris?
No. Did hit the ground pretty heavily. He was assisted to it. He's going to get 25 for that, so this will make it a certain goal.
So as he trudges towards the goal, he's going to trot in. He gets North Adelaide 6th. They cut the margin back to 21. And they're going to need a few more of those in this third quarter to keep this game under control. But their run was good. Cameron Craig, the big target up there, maybe that might be an option for him for a while, about 7.5 forward. I better start using his real name, in fact, which is James Craig, because the double grabber mark is a big option up forward, and they're going to stay with Barnes in the middle of the ground as play restarts.
Bass and Barnes going at it. Tap down. Trying to work his way through there was Tom Schwartz. He's been wrapped on a tackle, holding the ball. So it's good work in there from Shannon. So Shannon spots a man moving into space at there, a centre wing out of side. It's Michael Virgin. He's starting to work his way into the contest. Gets a long lead up the ground there from Harvey. 80 metres out from goal, however. Still on that outer side of the Hickenbotham Oval. Thinks about going sideways. You think it'd be better place to go long, really. Just looks to put it up about 30 metres out from goal. Fly on the top there comes from Alex Barnes. Trying to work through there. And it's going to be a free here to North Adelaide. Looks to be over the shoulder. That was against Tyson Brown. He's had a bad couple of minutes here. And it's going to be to McDonough. We're just saying he's been fairly quiet. He's bobbed up at just the right time. He'll be lining up from about 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Yes, just was going to say the scoreboard attendant needs to understand if he hits the point post on the full, it is not a behind. And he has picked that up. Thank you very much. So we're going back now to McDonough. He'll be lining up from 30 metres out, 45-degree angle. This to get the margin back to 15. Umpire goes a long, long way to his right. Sneaks in for a minor score, 6-4-40. South 9-6-60. 16.5 gone, third term.
So South, well, North still trying to fight off the fast attacking North Adelaide. South Adelaide, in fact. I've got myself back to front there. The clearing kick from the defence was absolutely massive. He played on, and that's gone out around about centre wing.
Tommy Field's written all over it, that one, with that length of kick.
Which is where the ball's got to be thrown back in. It's got to be Barnes. He gets his hand on in the ruck work, but only as far as the Panthers. But it's pretty scrambly in there. The ball now clears, goes to Virgin inside the square. He goes sideways. The long lead out there, and the mark is taken. And if he turns on quickly, there might be something on for him. He does, though, James Craig. He gives a little give to Clisby. He throws it on his left. Oh, and the mark not taken there. Hit his chest and bounced off like a pinball. And away they go, South Adelaide.
It's through Goulden, who received it from Matt Rose. Keeps it again on the outer side. He's spit it up Rigby Barnes in all sorts of space. This is set up perfectly for Trembath if he can take the mark, top of the 50. He's got a one-on-one there on the 50, and it's Eddie. And he's waiting for the pass. He's going to get it. No, he doesn't. That's good defensive work in there from Corey Grove. Eddie's still trying to keep his feet, but gee, that's good work in there from Grove. Comes out now towards Thring, arriving as the cavalry for North Adelaide. Just chips a little dinky 9-9 over the top. Got a player moving out there in space, and that was one key. Now, next link in the chain is going to be Ryswick, who's starting to work his way into the contest after a very quiet opening half. Centre wing out of sight, brings it in ball now towards Virgin. Speaking of players working their way into it. Gets the orange boots aflame, takes a bounce, works his way around Rigby Barnes. Centre wing on the outer side. He's putting up and towards the McDonough direction. He's been worried out of it. Ball just working on hands and knees there. Virgin arrives again. However, he's been busy in this passage of play. Looks to handball it in ball. Now towards a teammate. He's wrapped up well there by Haran. And we're going to have a ball up. Just outside the 50 now for North Adelaide. Ball up. Harvey. Tap down. McKenzie gets the handball in more towards Ryswick. Virgin just tried to tap it back into the path there of McKenzie, overrunning it slightly. Throw in. Probably 65, 70 metres out from the North Adelaide goal. 6-4-40, trailing South Adelaide 9-6-60. 19.5 gone in this third term. Boundary throw in. Ruck's going at it. Alex Barnes and Bass. Former gets the tap down. Ball just out, comes smuggling out, trying to work his way cleverly through there was Tom Schwarz. Ball just dribbling out towards the top of the Roosters 50. South Adelaide wrapped up well there at the top of the 50 there by Shannon. We're going to have a ball up. So North Adelaide now about 40 metres out from goal. This next 4 to 5 minutes, his sense could really set the tone of the contest. Ball just wheeling away there from Matt Rose, who clears it out of the defensive area there for South Adelaide. Gets it up now towards Rigby Barnes, who's in all sorts of space. Tries to spot up there. A good mark there from Goulden, who was trying for it. But the player dropping in and filling the hole there nicely was Shaw's. Now it comes back inboard. Strong mark, and it's going to be a free now towards South Adelaide. It's going to end up there with Trembath. They're going to hit on the turnover, and he's going to hit it with his third in the term.
Flying now, the Panthers.
They certainly are there. Just a bit of an error there from Tommy Schwarz, and they've coughed it up, and Josh Trembath gets his third. 10-6-66, the Battle of Hastings, North Adelaide, 6-4-40, 26-point margin, 20.5 gone.
The option to play on was a bad one. I think you just had your eyes on the book there as you didn't see the play on, but he should have stood and taken the mark. Opted to go. Didn't know that the players were all around him. That caused the turnover. And then as you lifted your eyes, you saw Trembath all by himself.
Yep.
Inside 50. And he kicked the easiest of goals. He's been pivotal in this third quarter. Craig and Bass to do the battle again. Bass, tapped it down beautifully. Now they might be able to get the quick clearance. They can't. Umpire's going to wrap it up. And he's just starting to do it more and more, is the big fella. He's starting to really feed it to his little men. That one's another great kick to Newell. It's a torp. It goes towards the 50, bouncing over the players' heads, but now clearing. North Adelaide, but only as far as the chopping off player of Newell, who dived almost horizontal to get the fist on it and punch it out and keep this ball locked in about 75 out. Umpire's got to throw it in. We've got 21 minutes, third quarter. South by 26. Craig, caught one right in the melon. That one ended up in the hands of Virgin. Hender leads in the race. Handball over the top. That's got to go out of bounds. Umpire's wrapped up. Working in pretty close quarters there. The umpire says, no. You got thrown over the line. I'll have it. I'll throw it back in again. Bass and Craig. Craig gets to the front. Bass works his way in there. Gets his hand on it, but only to the South Adelaide player. He's instantly pounced upon by about 3 or 4 Panthers. At this time, the man inside the boundary says, I'll throw it up. No winner there. Virgil with his head down, picks it up and runs. He's been good of late. The handball back over the head from the Roosters. He's got to open it right up. Thring. Well, that one's smothered. They're working hard defensively right now. Goulden this time, taking the plaudits of the crowd and his teammates. And it's not all run and gun. They are certainly working hard. We've got an injured player down there for the Roosters. Carlotto is
for South.
For South, yeah. Yep. He's struggling to walk, so they're starting to fall down here. Can't clear there from the pack. Once again, it's another strong tackle, again for the Panthers. Last man up off the ground is Tom Schwartz. Craig over the top. The pick up though by the Panthers, but it went without it. Spinning through there, Thring's there. Craig went in there, the big fella. Umpire's found a free. And he's going to pay it for too high. It's going to go to Tom Schwartz, who goes sideways. By hand now, Virgin gets it. He's been all over the place of late. The wide kick was good. Found Motlop, who goes over the top with a short one. Oh, making that look very acrobatic out there on the half-forward flank. For the Roosters was Ryswick. But his short kick went inside 50. The give was good. Oh, he's played on. He's now made a meal of it. The handball out to Virgin, I think that is. He goes inside the goal square. Big fist from the Panthers. Is it going to end up out of bounds? It is.
No, just inside the field of play, so it's going to be a ball up. About 25 metres out from the North Adelaide goal. South 10-6-66, North Adelaide 6-4-40. So ball up. Ruck's going at it. Alex Barnes. Tap down. Working on outside there is Rankin. I haven't called him too often today. Ball just loops over the top end towards the little direction. Clever double-fisted tapper comes out now towards Hitchcock. Goes back into 1-2. Now they're trying to look in there for Gotch, but dropping in and filling the hole there was one key. Now it comes out towards Motlop. Centre wing out of side. Just looks to put the Roosters back in towards attack. Drifting across the front there was Tyson Brown, which was enough to affect the effort there from Alex Barnes. Affected it illegally, said the umpire. Alex Barnes hurled. So 60 metres out from goal. He's kicking towards the Colonnades end of the ground.
Free plug.
Yep. Just slightly too far out to score. That's a very interesting pair of pink socks he seems to be wearing too, but puts it up in towards the Thring direction. Well. The pack just parted around him. Thring just drifted through, and he'll be lining up from straight in front. Probably 35 metres out. Distance won't be any sort of trouble. We don't really see much of George Thring on the attacking side of things. Kicks a goal roughly every 2.5 matches.
Well, they need this to be one of those 2.5.
Now he's crossing the 50, but he'll be ultimately kicking from about 30. So he's going a long way back, as you'd expect for a defender who's found himself in goal-scoring range. Unloads. And much like a defender in goal-scoring range, he has got it to the wrong side of the post. 6-5-41, that would have been a real handy one. 10-6-66, South Adelaide, 25-point margin, 26 gone.
So the chiselling kick to start with goes to Little. He's working inside his own 50. His kick is also a beauty. Finds his man outside, about half-back flank, Bass, who goes in short as well. They're working this very, very disciplined, the Panthers. It's not the way they've been playing. They've been running and gunning and going fantastically. But on this occasion, they're going with the mark and kick option. This time it falls down as the mark's chopped off in the half-back flank by the Roosters.
Thring
is working hard from his last miss all over the ground. Now he goes back. The kick doesn't find the target, but he's got one long and wide, and he finds him in Wilkie. Wilkie now off the left with players in front of him. Is it going to stay in? It is. Oh, but the smother again on that boundary by Newell. He's had a couple. He owned that area down there, and you won't get past him. The boundary umpire's going to throw it back in.
He was 1 on 3 then. They had no reason to turn that one over, North Adelaide.
No, it wasn't the worst of all 3 kicks you could have had. Boundary umpire throws it back in. Craig leads the ruck. Only as far as Mackenzie. Armado to himself, wrapped up in a tackle, a real strong tackle by Nick Swartz. Throws him to the ground. Armado not happy with it, gives him one to go on with. Umpire tells everyone to settle down, I'll throw it up. Ruck, nothing doing. Ball falls to ground. Joel Cross in there. Jay Shannon pointing in all directions. Now the Panthers out of the pack. That one spews off the side of the boot. Won't stay in, or maybe it will. And it's going to go out in the full. Right in front of the grandstand here at Hickenbottom Homes Oval. 28 minutes gone. They lead it by 26. 25, in fact. The Roosters are going to try to work their way out of their own defence. They go sideways. Grove. He kicks it inside his own goal square. He's going to find Mackenzie, who goes even further sideways. So they now work themselves into the right-hand back pocket. His kick is done everything it could to not mark it, but finally take a look into the sun, shields his eyes. And the Panthers really have clamped down in this last couple of minutes. They've their defensive work in this term has been fantastic. The Roosters still working back. They haven't gone 1 metre forward at the moment. Spinner, he's in the other pocket. He goes over the top, looking for the run and mark. It's not going to be taken. This might be a costly turnover if it happens here. Wrapped up in the tackle, working hard. Golden with a big tackle. Umpires pinned him. And Golden, I get the feeling this is going to be a run and gun. They've been really good here. He doesn't get it going quickly to Eddie. Eddie takes the mark right on the 50-metre line. I reckon he wants to line up and take a shot at this one. He's already got himself a few. He has 2, he's got 4 today. This for 5, and he's really stretching his lead on this goal-kicking leaderboard. It was an awful turnover from the Roosters. So Eddie, he's got a kick from about 55 metres out. It's going to have to travel about 65. Siren's gone. Big kick from the South Adelaide forward. Gives it a chance. It's not going to make the distance. That'll do us for the quarter. Chris, they come hard south. And North Adelaide, although they fought for a little bit, maybe got one and held the play for just a bit, South Adelaide were far too strong in that quarter.
Three-quarter time, it is South Adelaide 10-6-66, leading North Adelaide at 6 goals at 5-41. Goal scorers here for South Adelaide, 4-2. Leading by 25 points. The umpire holds the ball off here to start this final term. It is Bass and Craig going at it again. Tap down there comes from Bass, trying to work his way through there is Gotch. Heard that voice on the outside there of Cross. Gets the handball out there in space. He was looking out there for Cam Hitchcock. Dropping in and filling the hole there was Mackenzie. Now North Adelaide look to put it up towards the top of the 50. Good mark taken out there by Ryswick. Again, he has been busy in that last 30 minutes or so. Just gets up limping. Bit of a stinger, I reckon, on the ankle. Puts North Adelaide up and towards the Barnes zone. Strong mark taken there by Big Alex. Now, he'll be lining up from about 50 metres out on a 45-degree angle. He was always going to win a match up there with Matty Rose. He will be... Now, just like a matter of fact, that was Brad Crabb. My apologies. So, Alex Barnes. This to try and get the margin back to 19 points inside the opening minute here of this final term. Barnes has the 1 goal today. Crosses 50. That's an up-country mongrel punt that goes through just for a minor score, 6-6-42. South Adelaide 10-6-66, 24-point margin. 1 minute gone. You're with Adrian Pickles.
Would have been the start they wanted to get that margin back under 20 points, but not to be. The way they come, the Panthers, the kick is going to stay inboard. Craig sells a dummy. Good work for the big man. Now, Virgin, he goes around on the left foot, smacks it back inside 50. It's all the Panthers back there. But Jay Shannon may be able to run onto it. The umpire's pulled one back. It's going to be a free kick going to Grove.
Matty Rose.
For Matty Rose, rather, for a hold. And his clearing kick. He's got to go to Barnes, just outside the 50. He squares up, goes right in the middle of the ground, opens it right up. If they keep running their away here, but they don't. They settle it down. Gotch. He goes out to the wide, out to the outer wing. No mark taken. Plenty of Roosters out there. They've got their work to do, though, the Panthers now. And by hand, they do create something. Handball back is Clisby. The kick there comes to centre wing. The spoil is good, goes out of bounds. Just started the last quarter, inside the first 3 minutes. 24 points the margin. South Adelaide lead. You're in the true centre wing position. Craig and also Bass. Craig with a clear hit out, but hasn't really worked for them though. The tackle is going to throw him out of bounds. No, the Roosters are going to be able to come out of this. They do. The long kick dumps inside 50. It's going to land right on the 50. No mark taken. South Adelaide all over it. By hand, can they get out of here? Comes unstuck. Pack forms. They're peeling for the hold the ball. Umpire says no. And he's going to ball it up right on the 50-metre arc. Charging in late was going to be Bass, but he couldn't get there. Marlon Motlop. Wheels, deals, swings around on his right. Bends it back towards goal. He's kicked it. Well, they needed something, and they found it from Motlop. A bit of magic. Out of nowhere, there wasn't too much going on, but he picked it up, found some space, and then he made a little bit more. He kicks his first, and it's exactly what they needed, Chris.
Certainly is. Great work in there from Marlon Motlop. Brings the margin back to 18 points now, 10-6-66. North Adelaide 7-6-48. Very clever work in there from Motlop. He kicks roughly 1 goal every 2 games. Unfortunately, today was that day. So ball back in the centre. So Bass and James Craig to resume hostilities. This has been a really intriguing battle all day. Umpire electing to throw the ball off. James Craig tap down straight to McKenzie, who wins the centre clearance now for North Adelaide. Harvey comes a long way up the ground there. Rose just dropped in there to spoil the party. Trying to get it off towards Nick Shores. He was dispossessed. Now comes out there towards Goulden. Goulden playing further up the lines here. Spots up cross. Centre wing out of side. He looks to chip it over the top there. He's looking for Seckle, who's moving into space. He's got Fields also alongside in support, but elects to go himself for Seckle. Puts him up in towards their 50. Eddie! Great mark! Oh, too big, too strong, and now lining up for goal number 5.
It's a real test of strength.
Certainly was. So we're lining up from probably 25 out, 30-degree angle. And this, to get the equation pretty much where it was at 3/4 time. It was 25 points. Eddie, umpire's going a long way towards his right. But I reckon that's stuck through. Mitch Clisby doesn't think so, but the goal umpire's going to have the prevailing say. 5 goals to Eddie. Margin now 24 points, 11-6-72. North Adelaide 7-6-48, 24-point margin, 4.5 gone. Gee, that umpire went a long, long way to his right there, Pickles.
Yeah, well, Eddie was clapping it and cheering at the minute he kicked it, so I thought maybe he's trying to coax him into it. But the man in green gets the say. He said it went through, but you're right, it was almost at least more than halfway through the point and goalpost, if that makes any sense.
Reminds me of a game back at Footy Park when Timmy Evans tried to do the same towards a goal umpire in the 80s. He kicked it from 10 metres out, missed the whole lot, and tried to claim it as a goal.
Craig and Bass again. It has been a fantastic duel. One there by the Panthers. The diving mark not paid to Harron. Pack forms. Said that a few times today. And umpire's going to ball it up, throws it straight up in the air. Third man up, the good hit out from the Roosters. Gets it going their way though. Picked off out the back though by Golden. He thumps it towards goal. It's about 30 out. 2 or 3 players jump around it. Ball spinning now, comes out to Barnes, Rigby Barnes. His handball sets up play, but they all jumped on again. Rough and rugged in there. Nothing real clean coming out of that. And umpire's going to ball it up. He does. Hit out by Bass. Doesn't create anything. Umpire comes in real quick after that one. Took no time to blow up. Craig smacks that one. Really gets it out of that the goal-scoring area for South Adelaide. So the Roosters bang it back. Taking the one arm. He's been absolutely held. Umpire saw it. Mitchell Harvey's going to take the kick. And now the Roosters are running for it, running fast. Motlop kicked the last one for them. He gives a diversion inside the square. His kick's beautiful. And he finds a target at about 49 metres out. He's found Tahana. Ryswick, sorry. He goes long. It's all right to the goal square bars there. Has anyone touched that? Doesn't matter. It's gone through the point post. And that margin just reduces to 23 points.
Fields brings it back in and spots up Seckle 25 metres out from his defensive goal, right in the middle of the 50. Haran calling for it at grandstand side half forward, as is Joel Cross. He's actually probably better off going at this way because he's got a couple of mismatches. Thank you, must have heard me. Brings it out towards that side. Bass just looks to try and drift through. Ball's just set up on the back here for one key. Play dispossessed there with Schwarz. Haran in there also. Schwarz goes back in there to try and address the mess that he partially created. Veide. Bass just looks to clear it away from the stoppage. Got a man moving in space. It's Goulden. Centre wing out of side, grandstand side. Looks to pop it up towards Trembath again. Just got a couple of metres away on his opponent. He'll be lining up now for goal number 4. And Josh Trembath, not big on the disposals. As I mentioned there, had 2 goals, 1 from 5 touches last week. This week he's operating at about the same efficiency because he'll be lining up for goal number 4 from, I reckon it's about his 6th kick.
I think you're right.
So Trembath, 40 metres out, 45-degree angle, 23-point margin currently. This to make it awfully difficult for North Adelaide. And that is a pretty good kick indeed. He has kicked 4 goals, all in this second half. Game high 29-point margin. You sense it is very hard for Josh Carr's men now. 12-6-78 North Adelaide, 7-7-49, 8.5 gone final term. And yet again, it was Daniel Bass who was just so vital out here, creating the space, undid the pack with a handball, found them Goulden in space, away they went.
And to back up what you've been saying about the other option,
yep.
Trembath has done next to nothing all day, but as far as the stats are concerned,
yep.
He's got himself 4 goals now from just the 5 kicks. He has been a real important part of this day.
Great efficiency, isn't it? I mean, like I said, he's now had 10 kicks in his last 2 games, and he's kicked 6 goals from them. You'd love that as a coach.
Oh, yes. Craig for the restart in the middle of the ground, goes to Virgin. He slaps it on his boot. It's got a bounce inside 50, or inside the goal, the centre square rather. I've named every part of the ground. Now South Adelaide on the clearance to Rigby Barnes. He's at the half-forward mark. Mark not taken inside 50 for South Adelaide. They jump on him. Umpire comes sprinting in. He's got to call it up for a ball up.
They're looking for Trembath again, and he almost grabbed it.
Why wouldn't you go to him? If he kicks it, it's going to be. If he gets a kick, it'll be a goal. Going backwards now, South Adelaide. Barnes. They go sideways. They're going to find a man at the top of the 50. Haran. He goes in short. The kick. Oh, the mark should have been taken, but it wasn't. Spilled through it, the long kick. There's about a 1-on-2 out there, and they've got absolutely nothing in front of Hender, sorry. He goes long now. He's got to find McDonough. If he turns his back, he's got one. He sees one in the goal square, but now he's found him. The kick is good. On the lead, and found him. Tight angle. Roosters went from back to forward in no time at all. It was Ryswick they found in the end, but he is on an incredibly tight angle. He goes for a lead. Barnes on it and takes it. Great option. Great lead, great kick. Probably should have had someone there, South Adelaide, filling in the hole.
Probably should have.
Yeah. Brad Gotch won't be happy with that. But it's got to be Barnes. He's about 25 out. Still a reasonably tight angle. This is no gimme. If there's any chance to stay in this match, they need this. Alex Barnes strides in. The kick's a good one. And they just won't go away here, the Roosters. South Adelaide lead 12-6-78 to the Roosters 8-7. I can't work that out with that person standing in front there. It's a back to a 23-point margin.
23-point margin, 2 goals to Alex Barnes today. And as we touched on, Ryswick's been pretty important in the second half, just playing that high forward role.
He's not a bad foil, is he, in the middle of the ground, Alex Barnes?
Absolutely. That ball back in the centre, and as you mentioned, North Adelaide just will not go away. So Alex Barnes squaring off now with Bass. He's going to do it at both ends of the ground now, the big fella Barnes. Bounce favours Bass, if anything. Goes on hands and knees. Shovels at a handball there towards cross. And shovels at I mean that. It didn't look like a handball really to me. Ball comes out now towards Spina, working off half back. Goes inboards by hand. He's searching down there for Tahana. He's been dispossessed. Caught hold. Holding the ball. Great work in there from Eddie to lay the tackle. Ball comes back into him from Barnes. Eddie just puts it in towards the 50 and straight onto the chest there off Haran. Oh, you love it when your forwards just lay so much pressure there, Eddie. Created the tackle there with a hold in the ball. Also received the inbound handball there from Barnes. And now Haran will be lining up for actually his first goal of the day. He's averaged nearly 6 marks a game this season. And if he gets this goal, you would sense there is a large, rotund woman starting to warm her lungs up at the top of the Colonnades Hill. And she will not, because that has gone through for a minor score. 12-7-79, North Adelaide 8-7-55, 24-point margin, 12.5 gone. North Adelaide still got that sniff.
The Roosters, the thumping kick, go to Barnes. Mark not taken, a good spoil. The South Adelaide, they've got to work it back in there. The sideways handball is good. To Carlotto, I think that might be. He goes with the left. He finds a man right on the 50-metre arc. The kick was fantastic.
Seckel.
But Seckel doesn't think he can go the journey.
I reckon he thinks he can, because he's putting his hand up and saying, I'm doing it.
I thought that was a, I don't know type hand, but you are spot on. He's told everyone, don't worry about it, I got this.
He's a defender, of course he's going to have a shot when they're doing this far up.
So he's going to try to get the lady singing. He's going to have to kick it right on the 50. He does. A bit awkward. Umpire's not moving. Oh, he's just got the post, I thought, or he did. It was a massive kick. Awkward sort of a style. But anyway, one behind. Why they come the Roosters?
They do. They bring it straight inboard. It just slipped through the fingers out there at half foot of Hender. The halfback, I should say. But now it comes out towards this grandstand side centre wing, where now they found Amato in a bit of space. Amato wheels around onto that left foot, looking to set it up now for Harvey. Drifting backwards, takes the mark. Great works. Matter of fact, I reckon that was James Craig, actually. It is. It's James Craig.
I don't mind him up there.
Yep. He's creating that dummy forward roll pretty well. Good work there from Amato to find the space. So Craig will be lining up now from straight in front. Now, speaking of men who don't kick goals, James Craig kicks one roughly every 10 matches. Now, he hasn't kicked one this season. It's round 10. You make up your mind.
Right on cue.
Yeah, you make up your mind on that one. Straight in front to get the margin back to 19. 40 metres out. Kick is on its way. No, you can see why he's only kicked 8 goals in his career so far. Minor score, 8 goals, 8.56. South 12.880. 24-point margin, 14.5 gone. South keep leaving the door open, Pickles, and North Adelaide keep shutting it again.
Yes. Now they come out, South Adelaide. It's still inside their own 50, but Roses take the mark right outside the 50. Grandstand side. He goes in short. He finds Barnes, Rigby Barnes. I've enjoyed watching his work today. He stays grandstand side. Oh, strong mark by Heredia. Caught one around the back of the head for his work. Got high, good stretch. They're just starting to slow it down a little bit now. Whether or not that's the instruction or that's the way the game's planning out. He goes sideways. The kick's a good one. He finds Little in the middle of the ground. He goes further sideways. That kick's got to be a good one. It was, but the mark wasn't taken. Picked up now by Hender. He goes long. They've got players all over the place. One of them is McDonough. And we keep saying we haven't seen him too often, but I reckon twice of those occasions we've given him a chance to score a goal.
Yep, McDonough is a player who does kick roughly a goal a match, so maths are on his side.
He's going to line up from about 43, 47 out. No real angle to speak of. This one goes through. That door just stays ajar a little bit. We could be heading for a grandstand finish here. Only 16 minutes gone. 18 points the margin. And that, by no stretch of the imagination, is ungettable.
Absolutely not. 16 gone, 18-point margin. McDonough gets his first. So, like that old pop song in the early 2000s, they want to do it with McDonough today. Back in the centre.
Feel free to tweet it if you'd actually know that song.
12-8-80 South Adelaide. North 9-8-62, 18-point margin. Umpire throws the ball up. James Craig leaps high, straight down to McKenzie. Gets it off down towards Shannon. Now it's Virgin. Puts out the don't argue and shows a bit of candy. Puts it up now towards Barnes. Harvey, I should say. Harvey, straight at the top of the 50. Mitch Harvey. Now he's worked his way into a little bit of space. Kicked the 2 goals in the opening term, but a little bit quiet since. But they are surging now, North Adelaide, and it is largely on the back of James Craig, who has been outstanding in ruck work and creating that dummy forward role. He'll be kicking from 45 out. Harvey. Kick is on its way. That is one of the ugliest goals you'll ever see. And they are now back to within 2 straight kicks. 10-8-68. South Adelaide 12-8-80. They have not shifted from that score since the 13-minute mark. Meantime, in this last quarter, North Adelaide have kicked 4 goals, 3.
Give Virgin some credit there for his work through the middle.
Yep.
He was under, certainly wasn't going to be able to have that kick that he made. Once he sold the dummy, he created himself all sorts of space, and then he went forward to the long kick. It was good work, good fast play for the Roosters. As you said, they get the margin back to 2 goals. 17 gone, nearly 18. James Craig has got to do the work in the middle of the ground. Up against Harron, so starting to run a few through there, South Adelaide. The bounce favours Harron. The hit out favoured Harron too much. Umpire's going to do it again. He's got to throw it up. Craig in there. Smacked it backhand style, but the Panthers are going to get it out of there. Through Veide. He goes long towards his 50. Virgin has been pretty good today, I reckon. He gets it outside centre wing for the Roosters. Handball over the top is good. Now they're running. Hender, I think I might have called that one wrong.
Amado,
that was the one. His kick hit the ground at about 60 metres. Wasn't what he was after. The tackle, though, is good. He's got to get the ball to go out of bounds. Umpire's blown it up. That's what I thought he'd blown it up for. But he's blown up something else. What's going on in the back of the back play there, Chris?
No, Mark was taken further down the ground, and South Adelaide are electing to play on. Ball just needs to try and set up at the back here for Eddie. Does he slot goal number 6 there from nowhere? Oh, boy!
While he was doing that, there's a stink on down the back play.
Yeah, there is. You're quite right, but in the meantime, Brett Eddie has landed goal number 6, and what a time. Gets the margin back down to that 18 points. 13-8-86, North Adelaide, 10-8-68, 18-point margin, 19 minutes gone. I was watching the player there with Eddie. What was going on in the background there, Pickles?
Well, I thought that's what he blew it up for. That's why I called it out of the bounds. But he must have blown it up for something else, maybe the high tackle or something. But there was about 6 players over there having a real go at it. But while that was happening, don't worry about that. That goal from Eddie.
Oh.
There wasn't no angle to speak of. There was plenty of angle to speak of. The goal was beautiful. Craig and Harron inside the centre square. Craig again wins it out. But the Panthers pick it up. And they run out of their Veide. Been around the place of late. Now they go. Newell. He's stumped after his disposal. But running forward, the Panthers now, they're getting it going. The kick goes forward. The mark taken. About true half forward.
Trembath.
Deep in the pocket from Trembath. As we've said, not too many disposals, but plenty of goals. He comes back inboard to Tyson Brown. And all the time they do this, the clock doesn't help the Roosters. 18 points the margin, 20 minutes gone. He thumps it long inside 50. Hey! Got himself to the front of the pack with good pace and a good stretch. Took a good mark, and this is probably that same angle that he kicked his last one from. Last one was on the run. I reckon it was tougher. But once you get the set shot, too much stuff goes through your mind. But I'm not going to doubt him for a second. He's been superb today. He's got 6. This one to put it out of range, you reckon? Eddie lines up, goes long from about 60. Long, umpire just moves really, really late. Other than that, I thought it was home. Roosters wasting no time. They've got the barrel straight down the middle of the ground, but only as far as Bass has been clubbed from behind.
Indeed he was by Harvey. He's going to take the mark or the free, and he just saying to Harvey, just hang about, young man. Gets it off by hand now towards Cross, who goes sideways now to Goulden. Runner just has to squat to keep out of the way of that. Brings it inboard now towards Scott Taylor. He squares it inboard now towards Little. Just inside the centre square. He likes to go sideways. Next link in the chain is going to be Rose. Got a man calling for it in space out there. It's Brown, who looks to chip it over the top now towards Newell, he was looking for. Rigby Barnes tries to fool the umpire into believing that it's still inboard, but he wasn't believing that one. Boundary throw in. 45 minutes out from the south goal, 13-9-87. North 10-8-68. 19-point margin, 22 gone. You would sense that time is now the mortal enemy of the Roosters. Third man up there was Cross. Comes out towards Shannon. Gets it off by hand now towards Amato, working off half-back at the Colonnades end. She puts it into a 3-on-1 there. Rose almost was able to drift through and take it. That's allowed Motlop into the contest. Just has to work his way around Bass. Looks to bring it inboard now towards Alexander Barnes. 70 metres out from goal. He's only got one man there on the 50, and it's Ryswick. You have to try and dance his way around and try and buy himself a little bit of space. Oh, was trying to bring Clisby into it, slipped through his fingers. That's allowed Little into it. Next link in the chain is going to be Cross, starting to move into the possession category. Loops it over the top there now towards Goulden. Centre wing out of side. South by 19 points. 22.5 gone. Brings it up board towards Eddie. 1-2. Oh, brings it back to ground. One hand, one bounce. Gets goal number 7. Oh, I tell you what. He is one of the most exciting full forwards I have seen in all of my years of SANFL. He can do it at both ends of the ground if he has to. But Brett Eddy has now shut the door on the Roosters. 7 goals, 14-9-93 North, 10-8-68, 23 minutes gone.
Putting on a show down there. That was exceptional bit of work. Was highest in the leap, was first man down off the ground as well, and then seemed to be the first man out of the front of the pack. No one is that quick, are they?
No, he's something special. I tell you what, this man, and just to think that before Brad Gotch arrived, he was actually languishing in the reserves, if you don't mind, Pickles.
Something to do with that third quarter water?
Yeah, yep.
The restart, the bounce, Craig and Bass. Bass just palms it down. His Rover couldn't take it and run with it, but now they get away with it through Seckle. The bouncing ball lands right on the 50-metre arc. Big head clash in there. The South Adelaide player last man to get up. In fact, there's 2 of them now. Looks like a car crash. And the clearing kick from the Roosters gets out towards half-back, smacked over the line.
Trembath on Cameron Craig, both had their heads over the foot. It was a genuine footy collision, and both players just patting each other on the back after that.
Couple of big boys.
Yep.
Umpire's got to throw it back in. 24 minutes gone. Time, as you say, the enemy now for the Roosters, and also they're against a rampaging Brett Eddy, who's on fire up the other end of the ground, the sharp end. But the Roosters get the clearance from the hit out. Cut off though. Rankin with the underground handball. Only as far as Motlop, who spilled it. And now they are going to try to work their way back out of this South Adelaide centre wing. They've gone backwards to go forwards. The kick now goes to half forward. 2-on-1, no mark taken. Via the hands, Clisby, he goes back and receives it to the 1-2. Over the top now to Virgin. Virgin goes to the middle of the ground. They've got players everywhere. One of them is Motlop. He's in the centre of the ground. Armado, rather. On the long kick to Barnes. The spoil was an interesting one off the ground. And South Adelaide got it clear.
They are. So the feet there of Daniel Bass. So he's going to have to try and bring it back in ball now towards Gotch. Gotch just goes backwards by hand now towards Fields. He's going to try and work onto his left foot. Delivers a pinpoint 40-metre pass, which in most players' range is about 15 with his leg, and it spots up Newell. That's a terrible shine straight off the advertising sign, mind you, on the binoculars too. I feel like I'm looking straight at an eclipse. Newell just spots it out now towards Gotch, who tried to scoop it and keep it in, and does. So Gotch, centre wing, outer side of the ground. It is North trailing by 25 points now. At the 25.5-minute mark. Gotch. Gets a long lead down there from Haran. Bulge says sit on the back here for Eddie. Gets the handball off. Had the runner calling on the outer side. And Joel Cross is going to stream in. Handball over the top. Straight to a man by himself in the goal square. Jake Veide, 100 games, gets the final goal of the game, you would suspect. How fitting. And they all come from everywhere.
Great footage this. Have a look at them go.
You've got to love sometimes some sentimentality in football. Jake Veide certainly does deserve that, but really unselfish play there from both Eddie and Cross, either of whom would have kicked the goal, but they wanted to make sure their mate got it in his 100th.
Yeah, they'll be talking about that a bit later on.
Yep. 31-point margin, South Adelaide 15-9-99, North 10-8-68, 26 and a half gone.
Starting to enjoy themselves here, the faithful. A lot of smiles. A few patting each other on the back. I'm hoping it's not done yet. I think they're looking maybe for a little bit more Eddie Magic down there. See if we can come up with something special for him.
Let's see where he is. We're going to keep it. He's on at centre-half forward at the moment.
Centre-half forward, but that doesn't time to no goals. Craig got his hand on that one, but he only hit it down as far as Bass. The ball spills out of that pack. North Adelaide. The players everywhere. He's collapsing. Umpire will go back in. Lots of packs today. Lots of tackling. But also on the upside of that, the opposite of that, lots of free-flowing footy. So it's either be one or the other. Barnes, third man up maybe. But that isn't a clearing hit out. Now Grove gets it. Rose father, rather. He can't run through the pack. He gets wrapped up. The umpire's going to throw it up again. Craig in there. Coming deep is Veide. His third man up does create some space. Rigby Barnes not juggling the ball to himself. Lost it though. Armado was driven into the ground. No free. Off the ground was good play by Wilkie. But the mark inside 50 is picked off in a one-handed special.
Goulden.
And Goulden will enjoy that. That was a great piece of work. Now they get out of here, South Adelaide. The long clearing kick goes, finds Veide, and fittingly, he holds the ball aloft in his 100th as they get the victory. Well, they run away with it in the end, South Adelaide. It was a great game up until probably the last 12 minutes of the last quarter where North were right in it. They kept hanging around, but all better game to the Panthers.